Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the house. Before we get the show started, we are going to tell you all about the RLM Elite Box. Man, not only are we giving one away tonight, but we're going to open our very own Pike box. Some special treats in there for us, and one lucky winner is going to go home tonight. Make sure you go over to simplefishing.ca. It is the subscription box with the most hard baits. Use discount code FEARFISHING at the beginning, or at discount. You can save yourself $10 on your first box. So head over to simplefishing.ca. Pike boxes, walleye boxes, all kinds of goodiness, bass boxes, multi-species. We got everything. Simplefishing.ca, FearFishing, discount code, save $10. Let's get this party started.
We're so close.
Man, that opening's going to work too. Right here. Yes. Woo!
Oh my God, it is working.
A little camouflage there.
Look at that. It's a thing of beauty. Woo! It worked. That's 2 shows in a row. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fear Fishing Webcast. This is episode 65. Man, we're blowing through these. It's been a big year.
For you?
For everybody.
Yeah.
It's just saying, last year we didn't do these on schedule at all. We did one here, one there. And this year we've almost the entire year pulled off every second Monday.
Yeah, we stuck to a routine pretty good.
We've done pretty well.
I think so.
As you guys can tell at home.
Except for Sean on long weekends.
Yeah, Sean doesn't make it on long weekends. To my left, Marley. You're filling in for Mark tonight.
I am.
What's up, brother? You're talking on that microphone. Don't pull Mark.
Sorry.
No problem.
Already in trouble.
Already in trouble. The crossed from us, we got Sean McCall. How are
Yep.
you? Just from work?
Yes.
Still wearing your work pants?
Yeah.
You came in here looking awfully studly tonight.
Yeah.
You know, Red's going to be excited.
I bet.
I bet you Red's watching right now. Reddy's wearing work pants.
I was just watching Red, actually. A minute ago.
Were you?
Oh, yeah.
Across from me is always the beautiful Amber. You got dressed up tonight?
I did.
What are you wearing? You got to talk on that microphone, too. That's
My
important.
polar piece.
Nice. You know what? We should talk about that. Those are those hoodies we bought at the Spring Fishing and Boat Show.
Yeah.
And the onesies that I wear hunting. Behind the computer tonight, Brian the musician.
The fishing musician.
Fishing musician. You made episode 2.
I did.
I wasn't sure you were coming. You were running a little late.
I did make it back.
You made us a little nervous.
I am fashionably late.
Yeah? Is that a musician thing?
I think it is a little bit of common musician thing. Yeah.
That's it. We're glad to have you back. Everybody at home who's listening to this, you're glad to have him back too.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds so much better, right?
It does. Everybody can talk at the same time, and you can understand.
It's weird not having like the spaghetti noodle mess of wires all over the table here.
Brian set it up for us.
Brian got it all done. Mark Hunter didn't make it.
Yeah, I got a theory about Mark Hunter right
Mark
now.
Hunter's in Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, that's what he says. But you
That's
know
what
what?
he
You know
says.
what?
Let's
You know
hear.
what I heard on the news? I heard that a naked guy jumped into the shark tank down at that Ripley's Aquatic Museum, and they're looking
There he
for a
is.
guy, and the guy
They're
disappeared.
looking for a guy.
So
eh?
I'm thinking, I bet you if we go to 680 News webcast or web station right now, I bet you there's a picture of Mark Hunter running buck down the street.
I always wondered if you could catch a shark with a worm.
He's a Senko king, so I'm telling you.
What are those things he uses?
A dinger.
The dinger.
That's what he calls it, the dinger.
Mark and his dinger
Yeah.
in the Ripley's pool.
He tried to touch me with his dinger once.
Did he?
It did. Yeah.
You guys once cuddled in your underwear in Texas.
That's where it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in a vlog about the Bassmaster Classic. You
Yeah.
guys can go back and watch. That was it was you, Mark, and your monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, your monkey.
Yeah, it was weird because he rolled over, he jumped into my bed. He's like, "You want to touch my dinger?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "Right here."
Where'd you
I'm
get
like,
that?
"Yeah, gonna
Where'd you
pass."
get the monkey again?
I got the monkey at
Michigan?
Yeah, something like that. At a truck stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot my body pillow.
Yeah.
Right. And whenever you're doing a long traveling in vehicles, it
Yeah.
sucks balls. Like
Yeah, the rest of us
nonstop.
manned it up.
I'm
but
gonna need a
not
monkey
Sean.
on the way down
Yeah.
next to you.
I think that in all the traveling we've done, the truck stops in the USA are probably the best thing in the whole
Oh,
world.
they're king.
They are awesome.
fun.
And they're open 24 hours.
And they have everything too.
And if everybody at home, if you're going on a long trip and you're going to stop at truck stations, bring Danny and Coop because they make it so much better.
Oh yeah.
I went into, I think it was in Illinois, and I hear Cooper going, get over here. He's like, we could buy guns here. And there's like a display case of handguns, and then I look over, and Danny's sitting on this, there's a chair with like
the
an
gel seat.
the gel
That's
seat
right.
with an electric thing, and Danny's head's back in the chair with his eyes rolled in, and he's like, "You got to try this." So yeah, if you guys are going on a trip to the USA, make sure you get a hold of Danny and Coop. They will make it so much better.
Yeah, they do.
What was that store we stopped in Pennsylvania during the snowstorm?
Oh.
Wankers or
Wagner's or
no?
Wank.
Do you remember? what?
Oh yeah.
It's right there, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something
to
like
do with
right.
Wizen or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
Somebody commented, "What's the big chain of gas stations
It's like
in
a yellow and
Pennsylvania?"
red sign, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Mark Hunter would remember.
Yeah, he would in a
Sheets.
second. Sheets.
We're going for a
Oh,
Sheets.
yeah, Sheets.
Sheets.
They
That's
had the best
one.
hot dogs there.
They did have good hot dogs. You know, other
No, they
places.
did not.
The
Don't get the
lie.
big sausage. You
They're
have to get the little hot
horrible.
dogs.
You don't know what they did to me. It was bad.
the
Everybody wanted to drive with everybody else. Nobody wanted to drive
the
with
truck
me.
stop in Arkansas that we stopped at the middle of the night. They had like a whole buffet of like I can't even like a Walmart aisle of spinning hot dogs and a fried chicken place. It was awesome. I never ate so much. I was so tired. You know, the most disappointing part of like that was the first time I ever drove to Texas. When you get to Arkansas and you're like 20 hours into this, you realize that you still have 8 hours to go. When you get to the Texas border, you're nowhere close to Houston.
No.
Texas is like size of Ontario.
Yeah, it's big.
It's disappointing.
It's real big.
Disappointing.
It is really disappointing. And I'll never forget, since we're talking about this story, when you drive through Arkansas, and Arkansas isn't, it's kind of like what I saw in the South, Michigan. They're doing road construction. The lanes are this wide. But when you hit that Texas border, it is like Texarkana. It's like Las Vegas, man. It is pitch black. We went through there, 3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
And you're driving in like black. And then all of a sudden there's a blue sign that says, "Welcome to Texas." And then there's one that's got to be says this house that says, "Welcome to Texarkana." And it is just cowboys, big trucks, strip joints, and steaks all like for miles. And it is
Sounds
lit up.
perfect.
It is like quite the sight to see. On that trip, I saw my first palm tree too. That was pretty exciting in Houston. You coming to the Classic this year?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, it's the last one.
It's not the last one. Wow.
It's
Man,
the last one we're probably
It's the last
going
great
to.
one for
Man,
a while.
there goes my chances of getting an invite to the Elite Series. It's the last one. It's over. Fans at home, get your questions in. We're giving away an Elite Series box tonight. We have the winning already picked. We don't know who it is, but we're not ready for it. We're going to do that later on. But we have a winner.
That's confusing. You're giving one.
No, we're going to open this one.
Yes, but then you're giving one.
Another one away.
Okay,
And, folks, we have the new Daiwa Tatula 100 in the house to open too.
but that's not going away.
No, I don't even get to keep it. It's actually the demo model for the sales page. This is the only one. There might be one other lefty that has mysteriously gone missing, but I'm not a left-handed guy. I was thinking, I'll admit I did open this today, and I was trying to figure out how I could make the Tatula 100 look like a Tatula 150 and exchange them. But that's not going to work. I couldn't figure it out.
What's the difference between the 100 and the 150?
Everything.
I'll give you 50 smaller.
It's
Bro.
smaller,
Bro,
Bro.
how'd you even
I
make the
don't know,
webcast?
bro. I got nothing.
Listen, any questions? If you guys got any questions or comments, get them in. Amber will read them out. We may even do a live caller if anybody would be interested later on the show to call in. Let Amber know, and we'll give a phone number out, and you can call in and talk to us, ask a question. Try not to swear. Don't say the P word.
What's the P?
You're trying so hard. Oh, it's right there.
Potato.
There's 2 guys in a hotel room in the United States right now who are just like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. It's going to be an exciting night. And we're already 11 minutes deep into this.
11 minutes. It's 11's a good number.
Listen, the other day I was out fishing. It was cold. I caught a largemouth bass on a spinner bait. But I was really hooked on smallmouth fishing. So I left that area to go find smallmouth, and I fished for about 4.5 hours, never caught a smallmouth, fished about 38 spots. And I came back to this spot, and we're going to show this vlog in the break, but I ended up catching all my fish on this weed bed. So I broke the #1 rule in fishing, which is don't leave fish to find fish. Thoughts on this, guys? You guys ever made that? We made this mistake in day 2 of the rice leg. We should never left that river to run down to Hastings, even though we did.
But we thought we were already on fish down there, right? So we weren't going looking for fish. It's just our fish down there.
Yeah, it was dried up.
Didn't go. Totally
Marley?
different conditions when we got there.
I'd say we've done this more times than I care to admit.
Absolutely.
If I'm being totally
It's
honest.
really hard to break that pattern, right? Like I was on a bay off Lake Ontario, and I know there's smallmouth there. And like I fished 4 or 5 smallmouth spots before I actually went to this spot, and I got this largemouth on nowhere on like a sand bottom.
Yep.
Right. And I saw a weed bed, and I chucked a spinner bait quickly through it. No hits. But I went back. It was loaded right up. I mean, even in the vlog, I missed 5 or 6 fish that I didn't even show. How do you break that habit?
That's a tough one.
We've done it a lot.
We've done it a lot.
Like a lot.
We're 2 different people. I could sit there and pick through
I can't do
all
it.
day. But
No.
you can't
I can do it better now than I could like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I like to
Oh my God, they're biting this good here. Let's go somewhere else.
Yeah.
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 It's on time.
ADHD.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I have a really hard time not moving. Now I can pick them through a little better. I think it's just because I catch more fish. Like when we were getting started, we didn't catch nearly as many fish when we first started fishing tournaments as we do now.
No, totally.
I'm kind of interested. Like I could drag it too. When we were back then, I couldn't drag it. Like if we drag a tube for 15 minutes, never got a hit, I'd be like, let's go. And he could sit there all day. I didn't have it in me. I feel like if I got a 4-pounder, I could do another hour waiting for another 4-pounder. But if it didn't come, like the hour's like stretching in.
Yeah, that's my problem too. I got.
Come on, there's got to be fish biting
If
in
I'm
this lake.
If I'm not getting size, then I'll leave. If I'm just getting like 1-pounders over and over and over again, I have no problem leaving.
Yeah, it's tough. It's hard to make. That's one of those.
We were bad for never doing like second passes on spots too.
You know what?
You do 1 pass,
Yeah.
and then we'd catch like 4, and then we'd be
We
like,
got
all right, next.
okay. Next, we yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to go back.
We didn't when we were now. I totally like. I'll just change baits up or change colors and whale a couple more, right? But yeah, back then, really bad for fishing a stretch and then leaving it, and not like. I'm a lot better now than I was back then at like making sure I got every one of them out of there, like everyone. Like the other day when I left, I was quite satisfied that if I hadn't caught them, I stung them. Right? And then after like, I hooked one here, one there, and it was pretty like 10 minutes I get a bite. And then when I got into like 15, 20 minutes without a hit, I managed to move off a little bit and pluck one more off. And then I went for another 20 minutes. I didn't get hit. And then I was like, all right.
Well, in the
I feel good.
springtime, me and Jeff fished that walleye tournament, and
Yeah, this is a good story.
we fished the main lake and couldn't get anything at all. So then we made a big run, and then we sat there in the last 2 hours and day and pounded out 5 fish in one spot, literally like a 15, 20 foot stretch. We just go up, catch one fish like every 25 minutes, 20 minutes, and then drift down, then come back up again. Do it over and over again. We came second
Wow.
out of it.
But
I
when
would
we were
never have
when
done
we
that in any other
no, if
situation,
we
ever.
were in if that was early in our tournament career, there would have been just total panic chaos by 1 p.m. Just like, oh my God, we're not even gonna get.
It was
5.
literally like 11:30. We didn't have a single fish.
Yeah, it's stressful
hadn't
when you
even
don't
hooked
have
one.
a fish by one.
Guys are giving up.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
stressful.
it is stressful.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Even when you're fun fishing, let's say you were fun fishing, you were catching a whole bunch of 2-pounders. Would you
Fun
leave?
fishing. I'm not. No,
No?
I
Just keep
like.
smoking?
I like to stay until I figure something out. If I'm fun fishing.
Yeah. I like
You know
to do
what I
that too. I hate leaving
Like-
without catching one. That's
Well-
why I would like the vlogs where we didn't catch one, right? And I think there was 2 this year. one bass trip and one muskie trip. I'm telling you that was a 14-hour day because it's real hard. Even if I just get one, I feel like, all right.
Well, it's like when we pre-fished for pre-fished for rice. The first part of our day, where it was crazy tough. We were like, what's going on here? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until later on in the day
that we figured.
like
Though you know what?
we were almost ready
the
to
one
go.
day we pre-fished from probably 7 in the morning and never got our first fish till 5 p.m. And Sean got 2 good ones.
Yeah.
In the weirdest of spots.
Just enough to mess with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we didn't leave.
Yeah.
No, we didn't leave.
Yeah, we stayed. We were like, okay, we.
Sean's dinner was at home, and he was like, "We're not going.
Yeah,
we're free fishing.
Not going anywhere.
I made myself a sandwich.
We're catching something out here.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's and I really feel like when you get to the elites or the MLF now, that those guys are good decision makers.
Oh, Mark Hunter's watching.
Oh, is he?
Hi, Mark.
We'll get into him.
He's
in
a wanted
minute.
man.
His dinger. I feel like that's the difference between Kevin Van Dam and everybody else. That Kevin makes really good decisions, and he doesn't stress. Like if it's 1 o'clock, Kevin believes he's going to figure this out.
Now with the new MLF series, is there even going to be pre-fishing?
See, okay. Well, this is a great one. Adrian Avena, who is MLF angler, or who will be an MLF angler last year. Where's my camera? Right here. We'll hold it in your front of you. He made this post the other day on Instagram that I thought was really interesting. It's a picture of his boat with the MLF. And this kind of gets into the pre-fishing because I heard that the 8 events aren't going to be Major League Fishing style. They're going to be 5 fish events with a weigh-in. That's what I keep hearing. But Adrian's comment on this picture was, even though there are still missing details, I'm looking forward to next season. How does a guy who's given up his career at Bass, right? I don't know how excited Bass would be to take any of these guys back now after they jump ship. And
They got to understand.
Totally. But they've left, and Adrian doesn't even have any details. Do you know what I mean? Like, details are important. Especially to a fishing career, right?
Okay, look at this. Like, when all the cool kids go over to that corner of the playground.
Yeah, you go.
You kind of want to go over to that corner of the playground and see what's up, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just human nature, I think.
You didn't know? Yeah, for sure.
Curiosity.
Well,
if
right? Kevin and Gerald are going and Skeet,
it's got to be good.
Yeah, it's got to be good. And Boyd's there, too.
Those guys can't be gambling everything.
Hi,
right?
Gerald.
Hi, Gerald. I don't know. You know, and I saw another post, and maybe we're going to take some heat on this in the comments. But, guys, I made a post on the live well a couple of weeks ago. I was like, do you feel any different about these anglers? And most of the comments are, why would you feel any different about this? I got one from Flaro, and Flaro was going on, and it was kind of like, I used to wear Shimano stuff, and now I wear Daiwa stuff. And I took my fair share of criticism for making that decision. You know, and I was like, I was like, so if Carey Price left the Montreal Canadiens to go to the Maple Leafs, you'd become a Leafs fan and say, good work, Carey. And I'm not picking on Ryan at all. I just think it's really interesting in the comments that we critique every sport in the world. Do you know what I mean? Like if Sidney Crosby decided to leave Pittsburgh for Washington, the whole world would go nuts. But why can't, and some of these elite stars I talk to, and they're my friends, but as a fan, do we get to be like, oh, you made a bad choice? Do we get to critique these guys? And
no, they're the only ones that get up in the morning and look at themselves in the
totally.
mirror.
But are they not making the big money so that like an NFL player or an NBA player, right? If an NBA player misses a shot, there might be a million comments. Do as fans, are we being too easy on these guys about making this decision?
No, I don't think so.
No?
No, I don't think so. I think this is a great thing for the sport. I think this is a great thing for fishing in as a whole. I think it just grew.
I think it grew too.
I think that's the whole thing.
But if you're like, here's my honest opinion. I've never watched a ton of MLF. I totally get why they went. But deep down inside, I really want to see everybody on Bass Live. And I'm really hoping that MLF is as good as Bass Live and that maybe I feel differently at the end of the year. But right now, there's a part of me who's a little upset that my Bass Live is, and I'm speaking totally as a fan, that my Bass Live is going to change a little bit. I'm not going to see those anglers anymore on Bass Live.
It's only going to take a couple of years before you got a lot of up and coming new stars. You know what I mean? Like, who was Seth Feider 7 years ago, 8 years ago?
Oh, it'll happen
Totally.
next year.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for sure.
Like, next year it's going to be amazing.
I don't think that I read a lot of posts where guys thought it was like the end of Bass. I think that FLW and Bass made every one of those guys' names by the magazines, by tournaments, that Bass and FLW is totally going to make a whole new list of superstars that we're going to talk about next
they
year.
Will. Sure they will.
I think it's good for the sport, but I kind of like, I think that as fans of the sport, you get to give your 2 cents about it too. And you shouldn't, it's the same thing. I've totally went through it, right? I get critiqued more than anybody in the whole world.
People got to realize that they got to agree to disagree sometimes, and it's not
Yeah.
because you have a personal
Right,
opinion.
and
It doesn't mean that I'm going to think
exactly.
You're a
Like
dick for
I can
having
think
your
of
personal
like
opinion.
I'm trying to think. There's got to be lots of people in Long Island who are really mad at Jonathan Tavares for signing with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but since I'm a Leaf fan, it's great news for me.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Has this ever happened in sports before?
I don't think so.
Any kind
No,
of sport?
no. Let's think about it. And we're too old. And if we had Mark Hunter here, he would have remembered that old Western Hockey League or whatever it was, like where the Jets came from and the Edmonton Oilers. Because Gretzky didn't start his career in the NHL. He started in. Somebody on the IM board put in what that hockey league was. I would think it was called like the Western Hockey League or
Mark
the
Hunter's
World
watching, he'll know
the World Hockey
answer.
League. Bobby Hall started it, I believe, to get more money, and he played when he played for the Jets. And I'm, it's before my time, but anyway, it emerged into the NHL. But I think before that they were buying players the best they could.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, this has never happened ever before in any
No.
kind of sport.
No, this is
Where
untested
somebody
water.
just started like, okay, we have the NHL. We're going to start our very own hockey league, and we're going to take all the best players, like an all-star league.
Now
How
how
many
would
people's got Johnny Morris money?
that's totally. But let's say
That's an
that
investment and a half
we're
right
being
there.
Seriously, it
Canadian
is.
right now. What if the KHL put up contracts like nobody had ever seen in hockey, right? And not only let like Mr. Ovechkin go, but let's say Sidney Crosby went and
Somewhere you gotta be.
Jonathan Tavares, and instead of making like $7-8 million a year, they were going to pay $20 million a season. How upset would everybody be about the NHL not having any superstars?
Yeah,
Right?
it'd be-
Would we all just start
World
streaming
Hockey League.
World Hockey League? Would we all just start streaming the KHL so we could watch our favorite hockey players? Like that's kind of what's gone on here, right?
Does that mean there's going to be
Yeah,
like
but-
MLF scouts?
No, and we brought this
Like,
up
is there
in the
gonna be a-
last
is there gonna be a
here,
draft?
and you weren't here for the last conversation, so I'm going to ask you this. Right now, there's some huge names in the Lee brothers, and others who came up through the college ranks.
Yeah.
Right. So this is created. We talked about this in the last show, but I want your opinion. When you get to the top here, let's say Bass, FLW, and MLF are the three sources. Do you think there's going to be competition for who gets the next up and comer? Right? Let's say you go up through the Bass
Ooh,
ranks,
a
right?
bidding war.
And you make it all the way to the Bassmaster Classic, right? Right now, I believe the college kid who won last year, Sean, didn't he win like a Tundra and a chance to fish every Open to qualify for? I think that's what that young man won. And I could be wrong, but I'm 90% sure. Now, let's say he gets offered that next year. That kid gets all the way up through the Bass rankings. He fishes the Classic in March, and they say, he doesn't fish the Classic in March. He fishes the high school championship, and they say, next year, son, that's your Toyota Tundra. We'll pay for all your tournaments. You can fish all the Opens, hotel rooms, and everything. And Boyd Duckett comes and goes, you could do that, son, or you could get in on this. We could make it 81 spots. So we're kind of like, what happens then? Are we going to get into, let's say 3 years from now, right? Some kid decides he's going to go to the Bass, fishes the Bassmaster Classic the next year, and then Boyd comes along and go like, how's that going to work? We have bidding wars.
This is my only problem with it. It seems like such a popularity contest, right? So
And
say
that
some
was
guy-
brought up,
say
too.
somebody's just crushing them, right?
Yeah.
On the Bass, like the Leets or whatever, but they're like a shit talker, right? They're
Yeah.
not good in front of a camera. They're like me, right?
Yep. You're all right in front
You're
of
doing
the
pretty
camera.
good
You're
now.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
He wasn't before. You should have seen the first Fear Fishing video. It's like jabbing him in the ribs. You got to talk, man.
But then are they gonna like not invite that kid?
I don't.
Because
That's an
L-
interesting
LMLS
point,
more
right?
based around TV and
Yeah, there's
like the
no.
whole
They don't know
spectacle of it,
how
right?
they picked who they
So,
picked.
and on the Ike Live show where they had everybody on, Hank Cherry was furious that because the MLF took a lot of old guys, like who've been around forever. And Hank Cherry wanted an explanation on, he's like, I got the trophies. Why didn't I get asked? And he couldn't get an explanation out of Boyd of why he didn't get asked. But it's probably down to the social media game of
Yeah.
who's got more pull.
For sure.
Oh,
Who's gonna
100%.
carry it?
So basically, they're turning into this into
Like if
the,
I could trade you guys in for the Guggen squad, you guys would be gone in a second.
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
Right? Like you got
Yeah,
100,000 subscribers
is, it, so
plus.
is this like the
they're
veterans
coming
tour
up.
then?
How's their
Well,
production?
It's the.
It's good. It is. It's kind of like I can't. It is.
It's the only part that bothers me, and I thought about this quite a bit.
You know what? I think there's guys like if I was Ike or Kevin Van Dam or Skeet Reese and I'd won an Angler of the Year and I'd won a Bassmaster Classic, the money would look really good. Those guys have worked a pile of years to get very little, right? And this seems like a more guaranteed thing. So I can totally see why you would go.
But they should do it legit. They should have like scouts, right? There should be a draft.
Well,
Like
every,
every
gotta
year-
start somewhere.
Like every
Yeah,
year
you
there
gotta
should be,
start strong.
but there should be a draft every year, right? Like go out, see the field, see what's up.
Totally. And you know what? Like,
Oh, this kid got picked first overall. No way.
and you know what? You can definitely get your name out there and get seen through social media and not being. I'm not the greatest tournament fisherman in the world, but I certainly have branded myself and my company better than most people in Canada. So I get what you're saying. If there's the really quiet guy who get his fair shake again looked at,
Yeah. That's
Right?
What I'm saying.
I don't know.
The squeaky
No,
wheel.
it's all about popularity.
I'm not a
It's all
squeaky wheel,
about
honey.
media. It's all. It's what it
Oh, they're
is.
all playing golf together, drinking whiskey, fine whiskey at that,
Yeah.
smoking cigars, and then they're like, yeah,
You want
let's-
people to watch, right?
That's what it's all about.
How
They
many
have to
fans
have
do
their
you have?
social media.
How many
following.
fans do you
And
have?
that-
and
and-
with angling, you're looking at people like Gerald Swindle.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? You're not looking at a
Hi,
So
team.
here's
A
my ultimate
team.
question
It's not
for
a team.
about Swindle. Swindle has won 2 Angler of the Years, but never a Bassmaster Classic, right? So he's never won an Elite Series event. So he has just walked like at the end of this all, right? Yes, please. At the end of this all, does Swindle look back and Swindle doesn't like rank up there in the greatest anglers of all time because he didn't win an Elite Series and he didn't win a Classic? Like, is he given? Like, is it going to mean that much in 10 years from now to win a Bassmaster Classic?
Oh, it depends what the MLF offers.
Right? Like, nobody grew up wanting to win a General Tire Cup. No, we used to have this conversation all the time. Would you rather win a Forest Wood Cup or a Bassmaster Classic? And there was a time period where FLW had a bigger sponsors, paid more.
They did $1 million classic.
Yeah, but it wasn't the Bassmaster Classic, right? Like, I was really surprised that Brian Aylwer didn't stay long enough to win a Classic. But it could be in some of these guys' plan to take the 3-year money and go back to win that.
Oh,
We
yeah,
don't
who
know
knows?
what the long-term gain
It
here
might
is.
be the only option. This thing might fold,
Yeah.
right? You don't.
Well,
know.
what if it folds? What if in 3 years from now, let's say worst case scenario, it doesn't work out. 3 years from now, Bass has got their 80 guys that pumped a ton of cash into those magazines and their shows. There's
yeah.
80 guys at MLF who've got to requalify,
Yeah.
They've all. That's
That's
the
an
thing.
easy
They'll have to
solution.
requalify. Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
got to go to the Opens. You got to requalify. And there's not 80 spots a year for those guys to come back, right? Can you imagine Kevin Van Dam going back out on the Opens to try to qualify for the...
That'd be so sick, honestly.
It'd be kind of cool, right? Now, here's another thing, and I think we brought this up in the last show, but before we get off this topic, if you were one of these MLF guys and you get one win in an Open, you make it to the Bassmaster Classic. If you were Kevin Van Dam, would you go to an Open to try to make it to the Bassmaster Classic in 2020? All you got to do is win an Open. Toledo Bend.
Yeah, of course you would.
You think they're
Why-
going to do
Why
it?
wouldn't you?
I don't know.
I don't think they're allowed to, though, right?
They are.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
There's nothing in MLF or the BPT tour saying they can't. There's just going to be conflicting schedules. But if you're open
Yeah,
to go
they'll
to,
they'll conflict every schedule, though.
but it's not there. There's going to be Opens that those guys can run to and fish. And if you win, you get a berth to the Bassmaster Classic. You think some of them are going to do it?
Absolutely. No doubt in my mind.
So we may.
300 grand.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Right?
Plus the title that you've
So,
always wanted.
They're
Is it-
fishing tournaments.
It's going to be exciting. Can you imagine? Like in 2020, we feel right now, and the more I think about this, the more next year's Bassmaster Classic, they're all going to be there. It's going to run like normal. 2020 may look a little different, but there's a possible of 8 guys from the MLF who could jump into opens and win, and it may not be, that. There may be the big names might still be there. It's pretty hard to beat Kevin Van Dam on Toledo Bend in an open, right? Like,
Or anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere north.
right? They have an open
Do you
on.
think they'll even be there at the expo if they're not fishing?
Well, that's another question.
There's
I
gotta be
thought about
sponsor
this, and Amber asked the
obligations
other
and stuff.
for sure.
Sponsor obligations.
But sponsors have got to be jumping. There's got to be sponsors who are making a decision. I don't know. Like,
I feel like it's just a show.
you got talking to the mic. We can't hear.
Am I? Hi.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez, Brian, turn me off.
Amber and I actually talked about
I
this.
got
the other
to
day.
get one of
order-
those mics for my girlfriend.
In order for MLF to keep their fans engaged, they need to do something like the expo. Otherwise, they're untouchable, and then fans are just going to lose interest.
Now here's the
That's
thing.
my thing.
We brought this up, and Amber and I said, if I was Bass, right, would you invite all those guys or allow those guys to come and promote MLF while at the expo while your anglers are out on the water?
Maybe
Because
it's in
they're
their
gonna be-
contract that they can't talk about MLF or wear their MLF jerseys.
No,
I
because
don't
they
know.
let
You still see a lot of
FLW
guys that fish the FLW
there.
at
JT
the
Kenny and
Classic,
those
right?
guys are all there.
Yeah.
Mark Rose, worldwide.
Yeah.
So do they let them come and wear MLF
Or is
jerseys?
MLF
think
going to
so.
do their own expo?
I don't know. It's still.
I think they're gonna have to do something.
You can't ask me if Adrian doesn't know. You'd think he knew. You know what I mean? Like if Adrian hasn't got the answers, I certainly don't.
I got some questions.
Let them rip.
Tiffany Schuster, have you ever fished the Detroit River? If so, what is your best memory of it?
Hey.
And is
Hey.
there any big fish?
We have. Marley and I once went to the Detroit River. We bought our licenses about 11 p.m. for the next day. We left Port Hope, drove all the way there. We almost ran out of gas. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah. We got to London. So where we live in Ontario, there's a gas station, like an exit every 5 minutes, right? You get past Kitchener, and they spread out quite a bit. So Marley and I
A
are
lot.
pulled over on
A
the
lot.
side of the road at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I think I had my Chevy back then. Was it the blue
Yeah,
Chevy?
it was.
It had the engine light on, like the gas light on. So we have Marley's Lund. It's got 100 liters of gas in it. And Marley's trying to figure out how he can get the gas out of the boat into the truck. Right? So in front of us, there's there's an exit. But it's black, man. There's no city. It's not Pickering. Right? And in like the very south of the 401, there's like a shining light. Do you know what I mean? Of like a glimmer of a town. And you were driving.
Haze.
You were driving, and we were like, do we run out of gas on the 401 where somebody might stop, or do we go for the money? We got out the 401, and he ran 2 stoplights, and he pulled into the 7-Eleven, and she ran out of gas going up the ramp to get to the gas thing. So we pump the gas. We get back on the road. We go to the Detroit River, and
Did you have a gas station hot dog?
no. It wasn't
Not as good in Canada.
Yeah, not as cool in
This
Canada.
is like Amish country.
We got to the Detroit River. We totally brought the wrong base, brought the wrong weight size. This is like 10 years ago, eh?
Yeah, there was literally from shore. Okay, from the U.S. side, offshore, there's only about 20 feet of clear water.
Yeah. We brought the wrong weights, wrong everything. Like when we're jig fishing the Otonabee River, we're using like a 3-inch minnow. Those guys were using like 10-inch worms.
Yeah, and like 1 ounce of weight.
Yeah. I caught a boot outside the Joe Louis Arena. And that's all we caught. And then we drove home. And remember, we were so tired on the way home, we had to take turns driving, like blowing in each other's faces to stay awake.
My favorite memory.
Yeah.
The best part was when that Escalade rolled up
Yeah.
on 22s, right? No
Listen
joke.
to this. This
On
is true
22s,
story. In a
was
blank, in a blank lot. Like Detroit, when you're floating down the river, it's like really nice skyscraper, abandoned lot. Really nice, like IBM building, and been a lot.
So this Escalade comes in super hot, right? On like
Coming
22.
in hot.
Spinners.
Loops around, backs up to the rail, right?
And-
And, we're like, oh,
oh
my
my
God, they're
God.
going to dump a body, right? The back of the tailgate opens up.
Well,
right?
and there's Coast Guard boats going up and down the river from the
Yeah, the whole
U.S.
day.
side with machine guns. Right? Yeah.
So the tailgate opens up, right? And these two thugged out dudes get out, right? And it's like, oh my God, this
Timberlands
is
on, baggy pants.
this is
like
actually
for-
going to happen. This is crazy.
We
right?
thought for real.
They pull fishing rods out of the back.
Start
Start
fishing.
casting.
Nice.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Did you make friends?
No, we didn't go to shore to talk, but we felt a lot better. But yeah, so when I
They
fished the
didn't
Detroit
look
River,
friendly.
when I fished the Detroit River, I actually caught a boot. We never got any walleye, and we haven't been back since.
Was it a Timberland?
No, it looked like it'd been down there since the 40s. There's probably Jimmy Hoffa's. Any more, honey?
There was. Jason Renner said he will call in.
Nice. You know what? Jason Renner is the greatest voice of all time.
He does.
He does.
Yeah.
Jason Renner. I watched a hockey game once, Canada versus U.S. Olympic game, I think, and Renner was on live feed.
No, we didn't have it. Our internet
Oh
went
yeah,
down.
our internet went down. So I was watching it on Renner's house on live,
Yeah, you guys were FaceTiming.
and he was like doing the play-by-play, and I was like, dude, you should have a new career. I'm telling you, he's the best. The absolute best. What did you say?
Chili's here. I forgot.
Oh, do you have any questions?
No.
No? Get your questions
Well,
in.
Tiffany just said you're missing out on great fishing all year round. The walleye in the spring is
I-
phenomenal.
It was in the spring. I'd like to go back now that we know what we're doing. We have some friends down there now. I would also really like to go to Lake St. Clair.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah.
be pretty
Seriously.
sweet.
Maybe Tiffany can put the fear fishing crew up for the weekend.
Mm.
We could do a little fishing. That'd be awesome.
I got a couple of buddies down Lake St. Clair. I could probably
I
hook
do
us up.
too. I got some friends. You got any more?
No, I was just trying to figure out what
'Kay.
Jamie was trying to say.
Let's have
in French.
a 3-minute break, and we will be right back. We will open the Tatula 100 box. We will get to the RLM box, and we will get to the giveaway. And we got so much. We haven't even started. See you in 3. Get a beer. Nachos. You guys like nachos?
I love nachos.
Yeah? Big nacho
I don't
fan?
need snacks.
You don't eat
What?
I
snacks.
don't need snacks.
Come on. Come on.
Ooh, Simple Fishing says you have a place in Alberta.
When fishing's tough, sometimes, getting that little extra sound and keeping that jig up and moving will get you a whole ton of aggressive bites that'll happen. I do the same thing for smallmouth. Earlier in the summer, I was fishing really deep docks. I knew there was smallmouth on them, but there was also some good-sized largemouth around, so I used a tube head with a rattle. Tubes are great for fishing docks. It's probably a very overlooked thing. Tubes are incredibly easy to skip under docks, pontoon boats, but when this hits the water, it's going to give this. And just like your flipping jig is mimicking, bait fish and crawdads, your tube is doing the same thing. And that, just subtle, sounds a whole lot like crawdad pinchers. So when it's tough, I'm going to put the rattle on. Or if I'm fishing a really heavy pressured area for smallmouth, sometimes if you're the only guy using a rattle on your tube, you're going to get a couple more hits. So pay attention, use your rattles to call in those big, mean brown and green fish, and I guarantee you, shaking that rod tip a little extra, especially when it's tough, it's going to get you a whole lot more bites.
Oh, check that out. Look where that tube is. He crushed that. Oh, man. That's the one I saw follow that smaller fish out.
back in the webcast studio. We are going to start a new video series where I can answer your questions. We can talk about tips and tricks, and we can random thoughts in between vlogs. The number one question I've got this summer is about my flipping jig rod. Let me tell you, I've used a ton of flipping jig rods in my life. This is the heart and soul of fear fishing. I love flipping jigs. I love catching big brown and green fish on the jig. I got a question the other day about what setup I'm using. This right here, Daiwa Tatula Elite 7'4" cranking bladed jig. Brent Ayler designed this rod. It is hands down the best jig rod I've ever used in my life. Start with the jig right here. I like to throw, 95% of the time I throw a 9/16 mini jig in black, and I just change up the trailer. Reel, Daiwa Tatula 150. Now, the rod, a cranking bladed jig rod. That's just a suggestion what you can use it for. This rod has so much backbone and a light tip so that if you're swimming the jig or flipping the jig, you're gonna hook up with way more fish. We're using 50-pound Daiwa J-braid. When you if your rod is too stiff, you'll pull the hooks right out of the fish. This has some shock absorption, so when you set hook, you hook that fish good. It has enough backbone to pull big fish out of heavy cover, docks, etc. 7'4". I like a shorter rod for flipping docks and pads, trees, right? It'll make you way more accurate. We're gonna do more of these. Comments below. Like and you do the same deal, but get your questions in your comments, what you want to talk about in this segment. We'll make some quick videos if you're looking to catch more bass. Brent Ayler, 7'4", cranking, bladed jig rod. And this is 201. It'll put more fish in your boat, like that one. Freak of nature, what a largemouth bass that is. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, here we go. We got microphones back. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you heard that. On the Fear Fishing YouTube channel, I've been running a new series where we're more in-depth look into what I'm using to catch, and the guys are going to do some. It's going to be good. Welcome back to the show. We got a ton of stuff to go through. Brian's having fun back there. That's awesome.
We're running credit card commercials now?
Yeah. We're going to have to hit them
Oh,
up.
now it's working.
Yeah, now it's working.
It won't stop.
You won't stop? Yeah, just open her back up. It'll be fine. We'll talk. You play around with the interwebs. Guys, you guys want to open this and show everybody home? Give our thoughts?
Yeah.
This is the all-new Tatula 100. Look here, folks. The good, fine folks at Daiwa Canada are on the road right now. So while they were at Pearson Airport in Toronto, I made an executive decision to go to the office and get the only one in Canada. Look, it's on 2 cameras. This room is not that big, eh? That's what everybody says when they come here. This room's not that big. We're going to open it up right now. I'm opening it. Tatula 100. Smallest reel Daiwa's ever made. Bait casting reel. I'm going to lie. I played with it a little bit. Marley, have a spin. Sean, have a look at it. Brian, have a look at it.
I want a left-hander.
Yeah. The other thing is, Amber, put it in your hands and tell us what you think, because you have the smallest hands here. It's really interesting. What do you think? I'm going to read off. It's that one's a 7-to-1 gear ratio. It weighs 195 grams. It has 11 pounds of brake pressure, 29.8 inches on the diameter of the reel.
Every turn.
And it has 7 ball bearings, which is not a ton in the world of fishing, But you know what? You can buy a lot of junky reels that have 36 ball bearings in it.
You don't
That
cast
thing's
shit.
the bomb. Yeah, they don't cast at all, right? Brand Ayler said on one of his videos on his Facebook channel that he thought that was better than the Steez reel.
Really?
He used it at the Classic, and he didn't want to give it back.
Okay, so why do you want a smaller reel?
For comfortability, ergonomics.
Fatigue.
Yeah.
Got
It gets a lot holding
I
a big
totally
reel.
get it.
Yeah, right? And you know what? Not everybody has gigantic hands. Like, I'm 6'4", Marley's 6'4". Sean's got hands like a polar bear. Brian, you want to check that out? Here you go, brother.
Yeah.
You know, and it helps a lot to have a reel that's really comfortable because you want to fish longer, you want to hold on to it longer, and you're like, there's nothing worse than buying a reel that doesn't fit into your hand, and you're like, ugh.
See, that was the best thing for me this year, going to those Elite Series rods. They are so light.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
So
makes a
light.
big difference.
It's a huge difference.
Huge difference. And you know, here's another thing. With speaking of Tatula Elite rods, it sucks when your rods tip heavy. And none of those
that's
rods
right.
do that. Do you know what I mean? When like your tip's heavier than your butt end, and you feel like you're carrying around something that's
Yeah.
20 pounds all day, that's not a fun feeling. I think Daiwa's lightened everything up at an affordable price too, right? Like that was the big decision of mine going to be part of Team Daiwa was their price points. They're like, I believe that's going to retail for $189.99 Canadian.
How much? Sorry, say that again.
$189.99 Canadian.
'Kay.
I don't think that you could possibly buy a better reel on the market right now at that price point.
Probably not.
Saving you money.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that, and that was a huge part of my decision to go to Daiwa in the first place. They keep bringing out the best engineered products at the, affordable prices for everybody. What'd you think, Brian?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, it's nice. I think I'd like a left-hander though too.
Really?
Kind of a left-handed
Oh,
guy.
do we have 2 lefties?
Yeah.
Mark's a lefty too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
3 lefties.
I can't reel left with a bait
Yes.
caster, but I reel right with my spinning reels and my float reel. Marley, you're
I'm
same.
exactly the same, yeah.
Brothers.
I just do what you set me up with.
No, you reel right hand. You think you could reel this way?
I just
Try it.
I
Just
literally
hold it and try it. It'll feel so awkward.
What?
Now hold it the other way and try to no.
What are you talking
Sean,
about?
could you show her?
Can you show me? I don't know what he's talking about.
Like if the reel, like hold the reel regular.
Okay.
Now reel with your right hand. Hold the reel like that, and now pretend you're reeling with your. Yeah. Does that feel weird?
I don't know. Fishing feels weird to me still. It all feels weird. I'm just doing literally. I just use your rods.
It's
the
super
way they're
cool,
set
guys.
up.
Here, let me show a look in the camera. $189.99. It's coming very soon. I'm going to use this one this week before the boys get back from the United States, and they make me take it back. I can't make one look like a 150 look like this though. Try.
I'd really like to take one of those down to Mexico and fish the World Championships. I really would.
I believe there's a rumor that there's a left-handed one in
Hey,
Canada.
Fat Cat's here.
No way, Fat Cat. How's it going, brother? That's the funniest guy in fishing. You know, speaking of Major League Fishing and the Bassmasters, he's probably the up-to-date news on the interwebs.
He's the man.
He is the man.
He's the man.
You know what the thing about Fat Cat is? You watch him. You meet a lot of guys in fishing who they're you see them on the internet or you see them on TV, and they're not such nice guys when you meet them. Fat Cat is like the genuine nicest guy I've met in fishing.
Oh yeah.
Give you
High
a
kicking
hug,
all over the
high
place,
kicking, giving out hugs. You hugged him, didn't you?
Yeah, he gives good hugs.
Yeah.
Gives good
Yeah.
hugs.
She bubbles right in there. Fat Cat is one of the nicest guys. Everybody at home.
And probably the funniest guy in fishing.
Oh
Definitely the funniest.
man, I watch his. We can't even have him on as a guest anymore because we all laugh so much that we can't interview him. I'm not even kidding you. Do you remember the first time we had him on? He called me Australian.
Yeah.
You sound
Yeah,
kind of
dude.
Australian.
You think so?
Say aluminum.
No, we had this talk yesterday too. No,
Aluminium.
no.
Say it.
I'm vouching real hard to change all the names of Daiwas too. I'm really working on
What
it.
are the real names?
Tatula.
And
Fuego.
Fuego.
Say it.
Fuego.
Fuego.
No, guys, there's guys watching
You're
this.
right there. So close.
Kage.
Hey? It's like that guy in the Pink Panthers trying to say hamburger.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Hamburger.
You guys get me in trouble every show. There's 2 guys right now sitting in a hotel room drinking beer going, oh, why do they have to ask them this stuff? Aluminum.
Australian. Right? 100%.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it
Mike
again.
Iconelli can't say it either because on Ike Live they try to get him to say it all the time too. You guys been talking to Brian the Carpenter behind the scenes?
No. Am I?
Aluminum.
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 How do you say it then?
Aluminum.
Aluminium.
Aluminum. Aluminum. What word can Ashton say?
Minimum.
Oh shoot. What is
Bay
it? Oh,
blaster.
Beyblades.
Beyblades.
He goes blades.
That's
Amber's
a useless
been
word anyway.
Yeah. What? Last night, we spent the evening in the hospital.
It was epic.
What?
Epic.
6 hours, Coburg emergency room. I got a tick.
A dick?
A tick.
Oh no.
Oh no!
You just found
I got a tick in my wrist.
Is it breaking news?
I had this the
What I
whole
found.
time.
Oh my god! So
They finally
was,
found it.
I was on my
That's why they had to rush
What's
you over
today?
to
So
Monday to
much
see if
more
it was
sense.
real.
Saturday night. I went deer hunting. Friday, I baited deer with Mark Hunter, who couldn't find his tree stand. We're gonna get into that in a minute. Last night, I was driving Ash to his mom's, and my safety alert bracelet, that's really a bow release, slid down, and there was a tick on my wrist, and it would like he was in there. So we went to the hospital. We waited around forever. They removed the tick. I had to take dilopicin.
Doxycycline.
And you guys think I can say fuego?
Fuego.
Fuego. It's
Fuego.
not fuego. It's
Fuego.
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 Yeah.
Fuego. Fuego. Call me Kyle.
So yeah,
I'll get it right.
ticks are serious business. The doctor was quite concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's no joke. Like, have you guys ever had a tick?
Never.
You had one on your pant leg though.
I had one on my pants.
Sean, you ever had one?
No.
Man, how do I get
I
all
wear
the
high
life-threatening
socks
disease?
and-
I do
I
too.
don't mess around.
I wear high
socks.
socks, wear rubbers. I always tuck my socks in.
I'm always checking.
Always wear a rubber.
Tomorrow night when I go deer hunting, I'm going to duct tape my wrists.
Right?
Yeah, I'm not messing around anymore. It was not exciting. It's really weird to sit in an emergency room and watch this guy with his legs going. Every time I blow on him,
And you can't feel
And-
it either,
no,
right?
you can't
Chris-
feel it. That's the weird part.
That's messed up. I don't
Marley
believe that.
asked, and it's not like a mosquito and it's not like a fly. I had
no.
no idea it was there. I'm assuming I got him Saturday night, but I could have got him on Friday. Like I had no idea, and it's not like I gave myself the exam, and I didn't move my bracelet. My bracelet fits tight, right there, and he was under there. I don't even know how he got under there.
Chris Tatoska's calling for your man card.
My man card, I still got a tick mouth in my arm. So
We
I've got the what is it?
Because it's been in there for a long
For a
time.
long
it
time,
had
and I
the-
wasn't gonna get 'em
We needed
out.
the pills.
We needed the pills. It's got the bullet with the mouth still in there, but they can't cut the mouth out,
Bullseye.
the bullseye, because the doctor said if they get cutting, that's where the stuff that it will cause, not Lyme disease, but it will cause like a huge infection.
Well, don't be squeezing it.
I know. I'm trying not to.
Yeah, you can't stop playing with it.
I know. You should have seen it when he was in there. I was like flicking him and stuff. I'd be like, Amber, you want to watch him run?
Oh, no.
It was gross.
Yeah.
And the doctor also did say that it was the deepest one he's ever seen.
Yeah.
He's like, this is real. And it wouldn't
And the
engorge.
smallest?
So he might have been in there for.
Yeah.
Period of time.
He
Yeah.
wasn't engorging, though. And the doctor said it's probably because his
He was full.
blood
Full.
disorder.
His blood
Yeah,
is so
because
shit.
I take blood, my blood
Gives shit
thinners.
blood.
Yeah. Don't want none of that. He was
He
like,
was
no.
probably like, I want out of here,
maybe.
but he was so
Yeah, he
damn
couldn't
big,
get
he couldn't
backed out. That's funny. So please, everybody headed out to the woods. Make sure you check for ticks. They are not something to mess around with. That's at least the first. I almost cut my hand off at my employer. Then I got blood clots, and then they found out I got hemochromatosis, and then somehow I got a magic tick. I wonder what number 5 will be.
It's crazy though. Like never used to hear about ticks when we were
No.
kids. Like at all. Now it's like all the time.
The only time I could ever remember
Well, it's the
about
Lyme
ticks.
disease, eh?
Yeah, the ticks was at Presqu'île Park. Like if you
Yeah.
went to Presqu'île Park, they would be on the major tick flick.
And even the nurse said last night she lives in Presqu'île area.
Yeah, and
she
they're
said
not as
she's
bad as
never-
where up by your house where we hunt.
Yeah, that's
in
where I got
Grafton
it.
area.
Yeah,
Literally.
Grafton area. So be safe out there. Make sure you watch
Chris
for
is going to
ticks.
ask you a personal question on your cell phone.
Oh, awesome. Anybody who wants to call into the show in the third part of the segment, message the Fear Fishing page. Just instant message, and we'll give you the phone number. You can call in. Renner, message me on the Fear Fishing page, and I'll give you the phone number he can call in. I'm excited to talk to him. Huge walleye guy. You're a walleye guy.
I love
Would
walleyes.
you quit bass fishing to be a professional walleye fisherman, Marley?
No.
No, not that hard into it.
Like never fish bass ever?
No, you could fish bass for fun.
Okay.
So you had a choice. You could have a brand new. Here we go. This is
Here you
going to
go.
get interesting. He like Sean. Remember when we went jigging
Oh.
fishing in the river?
Sorry, we got more comments here.
Just hold on a second. Is it like about the tick?
Yeah.
Okay, let her rip.
Well, Mark said number 5 was Sean hooking you 10 times. This
Yeah.
year.
I got a message from Daiwa asking
And-
the guy with the beard to stop hooking you.
And Chris Takaska
Yeah.
says you are probably going to be get taken hostage by a bear. That's what's next.
Take the peanut butter.
No, take the chocolate bar and throw it.
Oh my god! Every time I think about bears, I think about that story. We should probably tell that sometime tonight. Maybe in the third period.
Third period.
Any more, honey?
No.
Okay, Marley. Mr. Jim Lacey from Ranger Canada comes to you. He says, Marley Horniak, we can give you a brand new 21-foot Ranger bass boat, or we can give you this 22-foot, fully rigged walleye boat. But whichever boat you choose, you got to go on that tour, right? You take the bass boat, you can fish Ontario tournaments. You take the walleye boat, and you're off to Minnesota, South Dakota, Devil's Lake, that area.
Look at him. He's making
Yeah.
life choices right now.
Which would you take? Would you take the big 20? And listen, on the bass boat, 250 mark. On the two-stroke,
Details.
right? On the walleye boat, we're gonna hook you up with a 300 four-stroke and the pro kicker to go with it. Fully rigged Daiwa is gonna give you either combos. Fully rig you out. Are you gonna go for the bass tournaments? Or are you gonna go to Devil's Lake?
Honestly, I'd do the walleye thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude,
Yeah.
if
I'm
you
better at
think
walleye
that I
fishing,
can river fish walleye, right? When we went,
Yeah.
he would destroy me. He's the
Wow.
like the master of walleye. Honest to God, you go on the walleye tour.
Yeah, I do better at it.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's way more challenging, I think.
I think it's easier.
You think so?
Yeah.
He's the walleye man. Like
I don't
I'm
know
telling
about, I don't
you.
know about fishing walleye tournaments like professionally, if that's easier, but catching walleye I think is easier.
I thought he was the musky man.
Only on
when he's
flipping
ba-
jigs.
Only when he's
Anything-
bass fishing.
anything
Only
with
on
teeth.
flipping jigs. That's interesting. You take the big Ranger walleye boat.
Yeah.
No way.
I love slot sizes too,
Yeah.
because you don't need kickers. You just need to be consistent.
He really
just need a
likes,
decent
like,
average.
he's more, like, I'm more of a flipping kind of guy, right? I can do the other stuff, but I'm really good with the flipping jig.
All the tug is the
He's-
drug, bud.
He's the master of disaster, man. Like, he, like, totally. I can remember going out hair jigging with him, and I'd get, like, 3, and he'd have 22.
I like fishing slow too. I don't know.
Then
He
how do you
does.
fish with Ian?
I slowed down quite a bit over the years. But
Like I can do it and stuff, but I'd prefer to like drag and stuff.
I know, yeah.
I love jig fishing.
Listen,
but
listen. You know what? Since we're on the walleye topic, tell everybody here how your dad catches walleye on Rice Lake.
How?
Yeah.
Okay, he just
Listen to this. This is unreal.
he takes the boat wherever. Okay,
Dude,
do you want the whole
first
story?
start with the boat.
You want the whole story?
I want the whole story.
Okay, I came home when I was living at my parents' house, and there was-
12 is when you got the boat. You were like 12.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
I still have it too.
he does.
But anyway, so I came home and my dad had a bunch of fresh walleye, all filleted up, cooked, and he's like, "You want some fish?" And I was like, "Where'd you buy it?" And he's like, "I caught it." And I'm like, "There's no way you caught it. This is like the end of July, August, stinking hot out, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, it was insane. I got one that was like really big, like 6-7 pounds, and I got 20 other ones." I was like, "What? Seriously?" I'm like, "You got to take me." So we went the next night out, right? And then we're in the tinnies with a 14-footer at the 9.9. We started in Rice Lake, and we go to this spot, right? And he's like, "This is the spot where we were. No fish finders, no nothing,
Nothing.
right? Just using like triangulating points and stuff." He's like, "This is exactly where I was." I was like, "Dude, we're in like 20 feet of water right now." And he's like, "Well, I don't know. I'm a fish finder." And I was like, "Okay, we're just gonna roll with this." And then I was like, "What were you getting them on?" And he shows me those like 1.5-inch floating Rapellas. You know the ones I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They're like this big.
But keep listening.
Right? And he would just huck that thing out there, and we were trolling it.
How far behind the boat?
Like 15 feet.
And he smashed him.
Literally, if he was paying attention, he'd see them boiling. Guaranteed.
What kind of line was he using? Like super braids and
Trilene
fluorocarbon?
XL. just smashing them. I couldn't believe it.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
It's like
Yeah.
a generic thing, this walleye thing with the Horniak family.
Seriously.
Like, if I could catch walleye on an 1.5 inch floating husky jerk, I'd join the walleye tour. Like, you and your old man should talk to Jim, get a walleye boat, get on tour. I'd like to go to Devil's Lake and float fish.
Yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
Seriously.
They float
awesome.
fish walleye there with slip floats in the trees.
Really?
Yeah.
And like people's mailboxes and like the whole lake's flooded, right?
It's crazy.
It's nuts. It'd be cool.
I'll bet you Jason Renner's fish there. When he calls in, we'll give him. We'll ask him about Devil's Lake. He's fished it for sure.
He was wanting to know if it's the live well page or the
The Fear Fishing Ian West page. Just anybody who wants to call in, just message me on the Ian West Fear Fishing page. Where do you guys want to go from here? Let's open the RLM Elite Box and Amber. Who's opening the Magic?
I think Sean is.
Sean's opening the Magic.
Sean.
Let's each pick a bait.
I get to announce the wiener.
I'm going to start with this.
chicken dinner.
I'm going to start with this. This is the Pike Attack. That is a big spoon. Look at the size of that thing. I think this spins like an attractor while you're bringing it through the. That's gangster.
That looks
That'd
like
work like Tamagami.
That looks like a dope salmon troller.
Dude, I think you could use that ice fishing in Tamagami for lake trout.
Probably.
No doubt.
Yeah, probably actually.
Have a look at that, Brian.
Swivel.
Guys, pick a lure. Pick a lure. Have it out.
That's a good byway hole bait.
Look at the size of that swim bait.
I'm calling this right now. I'm taking this to Mexico with
We'll
me.
get into the Mexico trip.
Yeah.
Marley, grab one. Not only do we got that premium
It's awesome.
Cole Palmer
Let's go get some
fishing
pike.
line. That's a big bait.
That's a good bait there.
What do you got there? Ooh. Remember we used these at the not this brand but RLM swim baits at the
The bay?
bay. Caught
Yeah.
fish on them. That's a good looking swim bait. What do you got there, Sean?
I got the FX Fury by Dynamic Lures. It's a big
There you
old
go,
swim
Brian.
bait. I'm gonna be throwing lots of these when I'm down on.
That's a
Lake
big
El
swim bait.
Chorrillo.
So that comes
Cool-
in the
cool
pipe box.
deal.
Let me hold that up to the camera there, Sean. That comes in the pipe box. But Sean is headed to Mexico to fish the Pan Am Championship?
It's the World Championship.
World Championship in Mexico. You're going to cast that for largemouth bass, eh?
Yeah.
I hope one's in the bass box. Amber, who wants to do what do you got there, Amber? Lucky Strike swim bait. Is that a sunfish? That's a good looking bait. Anybody going to Big Rito should throw that. That's a good looking bait. What do you got there, Brian?
That too.
Flip to your screen.
Oh yeah, better do that. I guess.
Produce.
Oh yeah, I'm still the captain.
What do you got?
So I got this dimpled Len Thompson. Where's my
Spoon.
camera?
Ooh, it's so pretty.
It is pretty.
Not only will that catch pike, but you could do a Chinook
Take
on
that
that.
to Erie.
Take that to Erie. Bottom fishing. I never thought about that. Marley, you're going to Erie on the weekend. We'll talk to you in a minute about that. But yeah, we'll hook you that up. What do you got there, Amber?
Crunch minnow.
Let's see that there, Brian. They would do that up at Erie
Ooh.
for sure.
For sure.
Take it.
That's hot
Oh, you got
fire.
that out of the
Crunchy.
package already? Ooh, those look really good. Those fit. They would do that on Erie too. That looks a lot like a goby.
It does. It's
You take
exactly
that
what it
and
is.
you drag that up. I'm taking this spoon. That's what I want out of this box. I'm going to catch something on this. I'm not even kidding you. I'm going to take
That
that.
looks like fun.
You know where I'm taking that? To our secret lake trout lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think they'll do a 6-inch Williams wobbler? I'm going to take this ice fishing. You know where I'm talking about?
You think you can burn that bitch
McCall?
on the surface? Like a top water?
That big, where we go to catch those big lake trout?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that
Yeah.
where Miles went?
Yeah, we're not talking about Miles because Miles doesn't need stuff like this. He just needs a stick and piece. You know what? You take
Sticks
this
and
Cole
string.
Palmer to Miles.
There we go.
Miles would appreciate that. Anyways, guys, you can always save $10 on your first box using the discount code FEARFISHING. We are actually going to give one of these boxes away right now. We, before the show, did a drawing, and Sean McCall, get the amazing super envelope out. Hold that up to the camera first. Amber worked really hard last time on the winner's envelope. Draw a name. Jason messaged me.
All right, and the winner is Ava Wickens. You like that? I can
Do it
only-
again. Do it again.
Do it again.
And the winner is Ava Wickens.
Ava, send your information in to the Fear Fishing account, and I will send that off to the great people at RLM Elite, simplefishing.ca, and they will send you your very own pike box.
Does she? It's a pike box.
It's
or
a
does
pike
she get
box.
to
Nope.
choose?
This one
It's
is
a pike box.
a pike box.
Pike box.
Hold on. I'm texting
Tick bite.
Renner here.
Tick
Boom,
bite.
boom.
You guys can talk.
I'm gonna
Hi.
smash a 10-pounder on this.
You think so?
Yep.
Okay, so let's
better.
dive right. So who won again? Sorry,
Ava Wickens.
Ava, congratulations. Just send in your information. Did I say that?
Yeah.
And we'll get you a box sent out to you right now. You guys want to, should we give this up on a draw?
No.
Kyle
No?
and
No.
Greg are
No.
losing their
No.
minds.
No, you think
Not
that
the
would,
100.
that would, that
No.
would, no.
No, we can keep that for a while.
Okay.
Let's use it a little bit first.
Yeah, then we'll use it a little bit. You know what I did think about? I thought about, I wrote the date of my personal best largemouth off on the side of the reel I caught it on, and I thought about putting that up for grabs in December. Sign her up. Give the it works perfectly. And we'll do it. Maybe we'll do a contest for the reel I caught my personal best largemouth on. Right in the comments
Wow.
if you'd like to win that.
So what do they have to do to win it?
I don't know what
Show
we'll do
their
yet.
personal best?
No.
Their biggest personal?
No, we don't want people to post pictures of their fish bigger than mine. You guys crazy? It's all about me. There's a lot of things going on. We're moving on, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
There's a
good
lot
with
of
that.
things, big things going on in the world of fishing right now. My buddy Brandon Polnick is in Japan. If you guys remember earlier in the year, I'm not going to say his name because I'll butcher it, just like everything else that comes from Japan. But the Angler of the Year from Japan came over here to fish with Brandon earlier in the year to fish Lake Ontario and Lake Oneida. Now Brandon and his fiance have headed to Japan to fish their big lakes. That's pretty cool?
I would love to go to Japan.
It's pretty
I'm
exciting.
just
Like
saying.
I did talk to Brandon quickly today, and he said I asked him what the best part of Japan was, and he said the food and the people. He said he's having an absolute awesome time over there. I'm excited when he gets back. To give him a chance, and I want to talk to him about the fishing and stuff. But it's pretty cool to go to Japan bass fishing.
I guess.
Yeah, eh?
I guess.
That's pretty amazing.
It's like super finesse fishing too over there. It's not like fishing here, I don't think.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think you.
Brandon did say the
giants.
the young lad or a gentleman who came from Japan to fish over here, that he really had the same techniques and fishing style that Brandon had. Like, even though there was a huge language barrier, they really gelled together and they basically fished the same way. And Brandon's a finesse guy, smallmouth guy. They were doing a ton of You're just playing with that again?
Yeah, I'm taking this with me, man.
Excited, eh? And so that's pretty cool. The other big thing that's happening in the world of fishing, our friend Mike Iaconelli has a new TV show on Nat Geo Wild where he's fishing like bucket list fish all around the world called Fish My City.
Did you see him fishing?
Which one?
In
On the
downtown
street?
Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia? Do you think now listen?
Is that real?
Fishing in the storm drain.
Make sure you guys watch the show 10 Fridays on Nat Geo. It's pretty exciting that fishing at like tournaments maybe not growing as a fan base, but it's really good to see that some of our anglers are going to reach a whole new market through.
Oh yeah.
Like Nat, he's going to reach more people to get them into fishing on Nat Geo than any other way.
Oh, for sure.
It's huge.
Yep.
Huge. It's huge. Big fans of Mike. I'm excited about that. But listen, he did go fishing in Pennsylvania, like downtown. No, New Jersey. It was I think it's in
Philly.
Foxborough. No, I think it's Foxborough. I don't think it was in it was in New Jersey. I don't know. Somebody will correct us on there. But he got like every news station on the planet to
Yeah, he
share
did.
that. Like he was on the news. I saw a
All
couple of
over
videos,
Facebook.
couple million hits.
Yeah.
Now,
Brilliant.
here's he supposedly caught 2 channel cats out of a sewer drain downtown. Now, here's my question. I did read in the news, one of the newsreels, the reporter, she was like, it's Mike Iaconelli, professional bass fisherman, with his new show on Nat Geo. I think it's a publicity stunt. right now, you can ask the viewers at home too, did Mike really catch those fish?
Broad Street, Philadelphia.
Broad Street, Philadelphia. Did Mike really catch those fish out of those storm drains? Because the people of the town, they contacted the city workers, and they said there's no way there's anything living in there. Right? And Mike was using, I believe, pretzels and hot dogs as bait. There is a video. I saw a video today of Mike fighting one out of a storm drain.
Yeah, I've seen that one too.
Now, you think Mike caught him? Or you think this is the greatest publicity stunt of all time?
Who cares? It's funny.
Is that
That's
thing?
Mike Iaconelli. He can catch him anywhere.
No, that's totally what I believe. The best part of the whole thing is nobody can excel fishing like Mike Iaconelli.
Right.
When he's sitting on that thing, he looks so dead
How
serious.
many people are going to be sitting at storm drains this weekend fishing?
It's going to cause like an epidemic. People
Right.
are gonna-
Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine if somebody actually gets an eater?
Who's Lisa?
Marley?
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
That'd be awesome. You want to bring that call in? Like, remember Mark's buddy?
Wow. Wow,
I
Sean.
guess who's watching right now?
Who is?
Woody.
No way.
Yeah.
So Aaron Wood, when I was a kid, my mom and his best mom were best friends, and Aaron's parents owned Cook's Marina and Rice Lake. And when I was a little kid, I used to go out there and fish off the dock. That's really, before I'd even met Marley and fished at the river, that's where I got my start fishing. I can remember going out to the dock and them catching giant Rice Lake walleye. I just have this vivid memory, and I caught this big sunfish, and I want to bring him home to eat. So we got thrown in with the walleye. Right? And then I went home, and I never saw my sunfish. And I can remember being like 8 years old and
Not a
being like,
piece.
dude, where's my sunfish? And then he's like, they ate. But that is probably one of my very first fishing memories. I remember when we used to go to Cook's Marina, they had one of those old pongs, right? Do you
Yeah.
remember with like the wheels, like the arcade game? And all you had to do was reach inside and press the button, and you could play for free. But that is like my first like remembering going fishing and hanging out. Well, I remember like all kinds of stuff, shooting pellet guns there and everything. It's a great time.
I miss being a kid, man.
Do you?
Oh, I had the greatest childhood ever.
You and Miles
Yeah.
in your Navy SEAL days?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we did. Well, we grew up on the water. We grew up in the country. We were outside all the time. We're outdoor cats, man. We're not.
Yeah.
We're not.
That's the thing kids
Indoor.
are missing today too. Our kids don't go outside. I can remember going down to the town park here and building forts. I can remember going tubing down on the Ganaraska. I used to go with Woody all the time tubing. I actually Brian and I used to have a common girlfriend. I broke up with her because she popped my tube. Right?
I want to hear that story.
So
And then I popped.
She
it.
popped-
no,
Yeah.
She popped his tube.
I was like 12 or 13, and we used to go down to Northumberland Tire and buy tractor trailer tire.
You got your
tubes,
tube
right?
popped when you were 13? Good for
So
you.
listen, we would have to you'd have to get $10 from your parents, a note, right? Like they wouldn't just give
It's
you
just
you had to
crazy.
have a
Yeah,
note. Do you
yeah,
remember that?
you
How
You
had
can't
to
just
buy
come
one.
down here and
You
get your tube
no,
popped.
No, right?
Right? We want to
So
know
you
from
like,
your
and,
parents.
so you'd have a note. They call your parents. So you had to make sure your parent was at home. You get your tube, and you'd have to walk it from like the metro all the way up to the fish ladder so that you could tube down the river.
Parade your tube.
Right? So
Before it
one
gets
day
popped.
after school, Chad Leesmaster and I were like, "You want to go tubing?" I was like, "Yeah." And then,
Yeah.
do you think can we say her first name? So we'll just keep it at Bethany.
Okay, yeah.
I guess
Right?
we're gonna say her name.
So she was a year younger than me. We'd you can't even call it dating. We used to hold hands and go to the fair, right? But she was like, oh, my friend and I are coming tubing with you guys. So I was like, I guess so, right? And we're going down, and in behind the Cavan File Factory,
Yep.
she jumped on my tube. And it hit bottom and ripped a hole, and I was so mad, right? Like, this is the first time I ever got upset at a girl, right? And I was like, "Go home," and she was like, "What?" And she's like, "It's just a tube," and I was like, "Listen, it's not just a tube. Now I gotta walk all the way home, bug Craig for $10, walk all the way down to Metro, get a new tube." Then he's got to call my dad. And then I got to walk all the way back to the fish ladder.
It's like the tube
so
walk
that
of
I
shame.
can go back down the river again. I was like, you don't understand, right? We still have these conversations how you don't understand, like when I lost a big fish and stuff. But I was heartbroken. I remember, and I don't think she's ever spoke to me since then. I was like, you gotta go home. I gotta get a new tube. I don't know what to tell you. You gotta go home.
Wow.
Right? And I can remember Chad standing in the river with his tube and him being like, I knew we shouldn't have asked girls.
Girls wreck everything.
They do.
Yeah.
They so do. It's true.
So that, yeah. Pop my tube. Man, I was upset. Hey, we got questions about anything?
Yeah, I do. Damien Dunford.
I know Damien. So I got a picture of, you tell Damien Dunford. I have a picture of him as a little kid standing at the river. Next time I see Damien, I'm going to give him that picture. He's got to be. Do you remember when Damien used to ride the BMX bike with the trailer?
Yeah,
Do you remember
serious.
that with the recycling box?
Yeah.
Now he's embarrassed. Is he still? You got a question from him?
Well, he just remembered. Well, Aaron says stellar memory. Damien says, Ian, do you remember the spot fishing a pike in the harbor and catching him with a fly rod?
No.
And then I can't.
I remember one time Damien caught the first coho. Like, like August, like mid-August.
Yeah.
And he was like a little tiny kid, and he caught this coho. And I remember like driving my truck by, and he had it in the recycling bin on his bike. He had the sickest trailer made out of recycling bin, like just the absolute fishing machine. But I have a picture of Damien, and he's got to be 10 years old in the picture. I got it upstairs. I remember I was showing Ashton.
He said you gave him his first fly fishing vest.
No way.
First fishing vest.
No way. I totally remember that. I know what he's talking about. You know where I got that fishing vest? With Ryan the Gregory. Since we're pitching everybody's show, Ryan the Gregory fishing the Arctic.
Yep.
Me and Ryan went with my dad to Andy's show, and that's where I got my first fishing vest. And I remember giving it to Damien.
Wow.
Yeah, after I had it for a few years.
They should really bring that back.
Should start
Fishing
wearing them
vest.
again.
Yeah.
Nobody wears
Seriously.
a vest anymore,
Let's
right?
do it. I'm in.
I'm wearing fanny pack. I like my fanny pack. You
I
you're
want
wearing a
both.
fanny pack.
I'm a fanny packer.
Do you still have the camel coveralls?
I do, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah,
Those things have been through a lot too.
they have. They don't
Those-
fit me right either.
They've been through a
Like
lot of
major
fishing
camel
trips.
bro.
What? What did you say?
Nothing.
Did you say camel, bro?
Maybe.
Do you have? Is there any more? Get your questions in. Anybody again who wants to call in live in the third period? Get a message to me somehow. Message my personal account. Message anywhere, and I will give you the phone number. Renner's in for sure.
Now Nick Ferguson's asking, you remember the time, Marley, do you remember the time we caught a buzz on Rice Lake?
Absolutely.
This is throwback, eh?
I've
Which
never seen
time?
you do
Which
this before. Say cancel maybe. Cancel that one too. I think it's still going.
Oh, Mark Hunter's watching again.
Yeah.
He's on the run.
Maybe reload. I don't know. We've never had this happen before.
Okay, we're having some technical difficulties.
Yeah. Reload.
Huh.
It's still going
No.
there.
No,
No?
we're frozen.
No. Are we on air? We're still recording.
But why?
Froze.
Oh no.
What does it mean?
Oh no.
We didn't
is
even
it?
get
We
to
went
say
off
goodbye.
air. We went off air. Can you go 2, 3? Hey,
Hey,
this is what we'll do. We'll have a 2-minute break. Brian, plug away. Just play a YouTube video, and I will get that back up streaming live.
It's going.
I can't believe that did it. That's really interesting. We'll get that back up live here in 2 seconds. The
Mark Hunter, Sean, remember that time I ate your little buddy? Damien says it's still going. It's working fine.
is it working fine?
Mark says it's working
No,
fine.
it's gonna cut out because it's
There's a lag.
there's a lag.
Yeah, but they've already.
It says it's still going.
Does it really
It
work?
says because it doesn't have
This
stop
is the
streaming,
most.
stop recording, right?
No, but that's just
Wow, Brian, you're
streaming.
dealing with
Remember
this like
that
a
time
trooper.
Mark Hunter was a dick?
Oh, here, hold on.
Yeah, and
You guys
ate
talk.
Oh my! Did that really just happen?
Yeah.
What?
I heard it.
Remember that time
Yeah, back
Yeah.
in the day,
back in the day?
30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
They're whispering over there.
No dead
Yeah,
air,
we're-
kids.
Hi.
Well, it's weird what's going on right
It
now.
is.
It's like
It is really weird.
We
I've
got
never had this do this
all
before.
this craziness
Brian touched a knob.
going on.
Okay,
Okay.
we will be back in 2 seconds as soon as I figure this out.
We're having a technical breaker-d.
We're having a break.
And we're still live, apparently.
Really?
Yep.
No way.
We are still live. My mind keeps telling me no. But
Are
my
you singing R.
body.
Kelly?
My body.
October 7th,
Keeps telling me yes.
Nice, Marley.
Unwelcome
Oh, yeah?
breakdown.
I'm impressed by your R. Kelly game.
Yeah, barely.
Okay, we're gonna take a
Camera,
break
I did some
anyway.
Switching around in the house, we moved some tables around. I got my grandfather's table after years and years of wanting that. So that went our living room. Our living room table went downstairs. That couch had to be moved, and I pinched a nerve in my back. So I spent 3 days basically laid up. On
You had a vagina.
The next 2 days it poured rain, but on Friday we focused on the entire team and did all the service on the fear fishing truck. So we haven't been fishing, but we're back. My back is like 90%. I feel good. I'm not hobbling around anymore. Deer stands are in, but before we get to deer hunting, today I thought there's nothing better than fall muskie. So we were gonna go to the river. When Amber and I were out a couple weeks ago, saw a ton of muskie fall. 3 good ones actually fall to the boat. 1 out of my buzz bait. So got my Alexa, got my Daiwa muskie rods. We're on the road to see if we can't get a fall muskie. If we have time, maybe we'll hop in the tree stand tonight and see what happens out there. Made it here, stopped to get a coffee, put a little gas in the boat, and guess what I forgot? Probably the most important thing for muskie fishing. I didn't bring my muskie net. It's at home in the shelter where I keep the boat. I got my Daiwa rods, I got my Panoptics, I'm gonna see everything. And if we hook a bruiser, we are gonna have a heck of a time landing that fish by tail grabbing them. So it's a bummer. Don't forget your net when you go muskie fishing. It's hard on you. I've pulled 3 hooks out of myself this year. I do not want a big muskie hook in my hand, but we're too far to turn around now and go home. I didn't bring any bass rods because if I brought bass rods, I'm gonna see some trees and start flipping and I'm never gonna catch for muskie. So put the boat in the water. Hopefully we get a big one, and he plays nice and just lets me grab a hold of him, and we get the hooks out of him, get him back. I'm just pumped to be fishing. The leaves are changing color. It is beautiful out here, so let's get this in the water. Hopefully we get a muskie. Four and a half hours of casting for muskie. I seen one 30-inch muskie follow the boat. He got right to the lure and he saw the boat and took off. But that's muskie fishing for you. I had a good time. It was great to get out and cast. I wasn't expecting it. I would have really had to luck into getting a giant in that short time period. But it was nice to get the boat out. You can see the leaves are changing color. It's a little depressing that like a month, less than a month, this has got to be put away for the year. Feels like summer flew by, but the good thing is deer season, bow sun season, which means I get to do a ton of sitting in the tree for it. But I had a great question yesterday when I did my Instagram story about muskie combos, Big Coon 358 ass. Basically a cost-friendly muskie setup. The rods are in reels I'm using today, the Alexa 300, the Alexa 400, and we're using 2 of the Daiwa DXM, a 7.6 and a 7.9 muskie rod. I know muskie fishing can be, it's really fun to do. I don't get to go a lot. Before I had the great people at Daiwa send me these, all I would do is use a really heavy bass combo. Daiwa is coming out with the Tatula 200. I use the 150. the time you guys have seen it on the vlog. If I was going to recommend, you know, an inexpensive way to get into musky fishing, get yourself a Tatula 200, a really heavy action bait rod, or you know, a 7-Eleven heavy action flipping rod, and then you can use it for bass fishing and musky fishing. So it's like a 2-for-1. You're not invested all into bass, but you're not all invested into the musky world either. And then you can get out on the lake. I got another good question, and we'll answer that when I get this beast home. Made it home. I had to make a quick stop at Harris Boat Works. When I got to shore, I took the plug out of the boat and I misplaced plug, so I had to stop at Harris Boat Works and get a plug.
When he says the video is choppy.
Other question I got last night that I really liked on the Instagram story was from, right there is the musky net that I forgot.
Damn this. Let's get it back on.
We are back. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We're gonna have to work out this Facebook thing.
Why I've chosen to
It's still going
to
crazy.
be my main species.
The
When I was a teenager and I used to
not that one.
river fish, I did a ton of river
Safari.
fishing. I really didn't like bass fishing. I really wasn't interested
Right
in
beside
bass fishing.
OBS.
I watched a little bit of
The
bass
no, don't
fishing
close that
on
one.
TV, but, you know, I wasn't
yeah,
into
but-
the whole
hey,
bass
hey,
deal.
Yeah.
22,
We're gonna have to figure out this YouTube thing. I guess after an hour and some change, it kicks it off YouTube. But you guys are delayed at home on.
Or Facebook, one of them.
Yeah, you guys are delayed at home onto whichever one we are on. So you guys were still live, but we were cut out. Sorry about the panic. We are back. Mark Hunter's not here, so we can talk about him. That guy has the worst sense of direction on the whole world. I had to take Mark into his own tree stand debate on the weekend because he couldn't remember where it was. Do you not remember that story I told you when I told him to walk down the path? It's like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. I said, I walked Mark to the trail. I said, walk down the trail, follow the trail. Your left-hand side is your tree stand. So I get up in my tree stand. 10 minutes later, I see this flashing headlamp come from the right-hand side of me, and I dropped him off on the left-hand side of me. And Mark walked right in front of my tree, and I was like, yo. And he's like, that's not my stand, is it? And I was like, no, we're back where you started, man. Man, some people, like, it's how you can really get lost in the woods easily, but Mark had the same knowledge of me where his tree stand was, and I was able to find it. And I tried to really find him a spot that was easy to get to, but Marcus. I'm trying to get Renner to call. Renner's going to call in here any second. Are you excited for deer hunting?
Yeah, but I haven't had a lot of chance to get out yet and get my spot set up. My spot's pretty well established. I'll get
Yeah.
out there next weekend and I'll get some.
When are you
bait
going to
down.
start hunting?
As soon as I get back from Mexico, I'll.
That's when
I'll-
it's going to
I'll
start,
start.
eh?
Yeah, I like I like late season.
Yes.
You know, I don't. I've got it done all types of the season. I've never really hunted too hard October.
Yep.
I've usually from November on. I put in a hard 6 weeks and usually get it done.
Huh.
You know.
So the rut, they move around, but you like to hunt the season where the rut's over and then they start hitting the baits hard,
Yeah, when it
recouping.
gets cold out and they gotta eat and they're all worn down from chasing does like crazy. And I like every time I sit in my stand, I see deer. Right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Not these guys.
I'm a selective hunter. I like to wait for the one that I pick out.
What are you really doing? What are you looking for this year?
This year,
Yeah.
we've got some nice ones on the cams. So
Yeah.
when I get up there, I'll sit down, take a good look at the cameras, and pick one and maybe two.
Right now, we have our first live caller. Renner, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys just barely. It's pretty low.
Okay, buddy. We're going to speak loud for you. How's it going tonight, my man?
It's going well. The weather finally straightened out. Got into the 60s today, so a person can start thinking about chasing some birds or catching some walleyes on the river. So finally the weather straightened out around here.
So in the first part of the show, Marley's decided that he's going to ditch the bass fishing. He's going to take Ranger up on their full walleye rig boat. You're in North Dakota?
Yes.
You guys got a lot of good walleye fishing.
Yes, he can come out here. We hook him up with some Devil's Lake walleyes. The other thing that's different about how we river fish out here is we pitch jigs to them into 2-3 feet of water in April and May. That's almost like bass fishing for you guys. I think you guys would all get a kick out of that. 7-foot spinning rods, quarter-ounce jigs, plastics, and those walleyes just crush those baits.
Now, on Devil's Lake, have you ever done the float fishing deal in the trees?
Yeah, but, I mean, that's fun. You can put beaches and stuff like that. You got to sort through a lot of smaller fish. The fun thing about Devil's Lake is you guys can get up into those backwaters and you can pitch jerk baits, almost like bass baits, in 3-4 feet of water, and you can catch a 5-pound walleye. You can catch up to 2-pound white bass, and you never know when a 5 to 10-pound northern pike's going to crush that lure. So you got a lot of guys that use rigs with fluorocarbon leaders and stuff like that, so you're not losing as many baits.
Now, what do you get really excited for in the fall time?
I like to chase ducks. I like the pheasant hunt. Coming up here in a few weeks, the deer hunt. Do a little bit of fall walleye fishing on the river. A lot of those big 10, 12-pound walleyes are moving back up off Hawaii into our river system. And also Sakakawea is just on fire right now for big fish. Lots of 6, 7, 8 to 10-pound walleyes coming out on jig wraps.
Wow.
That's really cool, man. I got a question for you. Do you guys got salmon in North Dakota?
Correct.
Now, are those like in lake salmon?
Yeah, they are in Sakakawea. They're a landlocked population. They're a disease-free population, so we must kind of sustain our stock. They do not naturally produce. So right now, off the lake, our game and fish department is what we do in spawning process. They electroshock the fish and take them into the hatchery and actually milk the eggs and develop the hatchery eggs that way, because they cannot spawn naturally in our lake.
Now, they don't run a river or any? Are they Chinook salmon?
Yes, they're Chinooks.
And they
were originally stocked from Michigan.
And they don't run a river or anything? They're just in the lake?
They're in the lake, correct.
Huh, that's really
Crazy.
interesting, eh?
That's bizarre.
Yeah, that's not. No, we don't have anything like that here. Our fish are like Great Lakes fish, and they run up the rivers. Are they hard to catch in this lake?
This year they were. This has been one of the hardest years to catch fish. But the nice thing is towards the end of summer, they usually congregate, trying to get back to the hatchery, and they kind of group up in a small area where we fish.
Now, I got a question for you.
That's wild.
You're a big NHL fan.
Correct.
First, how do you think about our Maple Leafs?
They got a good shot to win it all this year. They got to stay healthy, and they've got to get that Willie Nylander situation, either trade him or kind of curb the distraction that's becoming.
Now, have you heard about the Tim Brent situation where he posted the pictures of the grizzly bear that he shot and got nuked online? Have you heard about this?
Yes.
What's your opinion on this? We should let everybody know that Tim Brent is a former NHLer. He played for the Leafs. He went to Alaska, harvested a moose and a mountain grizzly bear. He's also married to Eva Shockey. Good on him. We're all going to throw that out there. What do you think? What like you're a hunter and a fisherman, and like what do you think of the heat people are taking for posting pictures of their harvests?
In the North Dakota culture, it's given. We have magazines all the time with this over. It's hard to, but if you take that out of the picture, there's some parts of the country where you're going to get absolutely torched for putting that stuff up. It's kind of a way of life. They don't understand the sacrifice, the hunt, the actual. I don't know. That it's hard to describe. You know it by sitting in the deer stand. That feeling of the hunt, the rush of the hunt, just the ability of it. They don't understand that it's not just going out there. Oh, there's a bear and shooting it. There's so much more behind that hunt.
100%.
Absolutely,
and the hunt, not the kill. That's special.
I think that anybody who hasn't been hunting thinks they can't even fathom how hard it is. Like, you watch videos of like before I started bow hunting, I watched videos of like Illinois and Kansas, where those guys sit in their tree stand and see 150 does in a night. You'd be lucky to see 6 deer all year where I live on the shores of Lake Ontario. If you saw 6 or 7 deer, I would think that you had a pretty accomplished. And we have deer. It's just the pressured, and I don't think people realize how hard people work to harvest these animals.
No, and they don't realize. Plus the traditions, like our family to go hunting together. It's really hit home this year with my dad being very, very sick, and last year and not hunting with us.
Yeah.
It's almost like a piece of us has died because Dad is not able to hunt with us anymore, and how special, because he taught us to hunt, and how truly special that time spent in the field is with family.
That's really well said. Like, you hunt with Miles.
Yeah.
Forever and ever and ever. And it's more than just hunting. It's a really special thing for you and Miles.
Yeah. We're it's if he couldn't hunt anymore, I wouldn't hunt anymore. And
I feel that way about Mark. It's like, Mark and I hunt together. We learn together. We fail together. You're right. Mark's my dad. He's teaching me how to hunt. Mark teaches me how to hunt, and I teach him how to find his tree stand. That's the relationship we have going on here. But Mark and I really, we don't get to fish a lot because of our busy schedules, but Mark and I get to spend a ton of time, hunting together. And, even when we're sitting on our trees, we're texting each other, and, we check each other's trail cams. We make sure each other's bait's topped up. Like, there's more to hunting than just what people see.
Oh, for sure. For sure. There's so much more to it.
Renner, you got a final thought before we let you go here, my man?
My final thought is aluminum.
Oh, shit. That's a good one, my man.
Say it.
I got a question for you.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, what's the score of the Leaf game?
Renner, you got
the Leafs game? Hold on.
You got that information? You're watching football.
The Leafs game here.
What's your football team?
I got NHL Center package, so it is 3-1.
All right.
For the good guys?
And about 13 minutes left in the third period here.
3-1 Leafs? Leafs are winning?
3-1 Leafs.
Nice.
All right.
This will be 6 in a row if they win this, no?
5 at least?
5 in a row?
Renner, when we win the cup, I'll send you a picture from Yonge Street.
5 or 6?
You do that, man, and I want to see you drinking beer out of the cup. That'd be even better.
I might know a guy. I actually really might know a guy. Renner, thanks so much for all your support. Appreciate your call in tonight, my man.
Hey, not a problem. I'll call in anytime, guys. You have a great evening.
You too, man. Thank you a lot.
Bye, Jason.
Bye, Jason. He's right there. Like, we can talk about hunting and fishing and tournament fishing and sponsorships and blah, blah. When it really comes down to it, it's the people you spend time with hunting and fishing.
100%. Oh yeah. I can't agree with you more.
Like how many times have we been fishing together? A billion?
Yeah, lots.
Like, man, and we talked about this before about Marley and I's like, we're like brothers. We like family. We don't have to see each other all the time. We don't have to hang out all the time. You know, fishing has created this relationship where, you know, if I didn't talk to the guy for a year and you called me, I'd do anything in the world for you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it comes from meeting down the river and arguing over Shakespeare fishing rods. It's crazy. And I don't think there's very many activities, you know, other than like playing really high level sports where you meet people and you get in like that tight, right?
Jason just said, thanks, family.
Yeah, see, Ryan's a fear fishing guy.
See?
Deep. North Dakota got any sports teams?
North Dakota sports teams.
NFL team in North Dakota? I don't think so. I wonder I should ask him what team he cheered for. I bet you it's not the Leafs. You think so? Ryan, ask him. Renner, comment in there before we let you go. Who's your favorite hockey team? Brian.
We don't have everything.
Yeah, we're not going to make it through it. We're getting late into the night tonight. We gave away the box. We opened the Tatula. Why? What do we got?
Talk about your turkey.
My turkey.
Yeah, on Thanksgiving.
I cooked an amazing turkey with bacon. I can make a mean turkey.
Did you shoot that turkey though?
No. You
Doesn't
kidding me?
count.
I got tags. I should start a tag wall.
For tag soup.
Tag soup. Just
Tag soup.
I'm going to get all the tags that I have collected upstairs. I'm going to stick them on this wall for the next
There you
webcast.
go. Tag soup. I'll put my shoulder mounts on the other.
The
one.
other thing is, I believe before November 26th is the last day to get tags and stuff in Ontario. They're going to do a whole bunch of changes. I believe the 26th of November is the last time before the end of the year. There's going to be a big period where you can't buy tags or licenses in Ontario. So make sure you get fishing license or deer tags or anything you need before that date, or you're going to be, you won't even get tag soup.
I got a 3-year fishing license.
Tags, nothing. It's all changing. 2019.
I got a 3-year fishing license.
I do too. I'm good. Final thoughts, Marley? And if there's any more questions before we get to Amber.
Leafs 4-1.
Nice.
All right.
Excellent. Final thought?
Be careful when you're running your boats if the lake water level changes at all.
That's true. Marley's
Pay
friend
special attention
got
to that.
into trouble the other night. Lake Ontario's dropped about 2 feet. He put his boat on a
sandbar.
Sandbar.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For like 3 hours.
Really?
Yeah. My old boat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Does it hurt even more to your old boat?
It does. It hurts a lot, actually.
You know what really hurt? When he put that fish bum sticker on your old boat.
Yeah.
That hurt.
Or when he rubbed it across the dock.
I did that, Watson. Sean McCall, final thought? Really? You thought that I asked him and I wasn't going to ask you?
Wow. I didn't really have any thoughts today. It's been a long day at work.
Tough day, eh?
Oh, I really like the new producer.
Amber, any final thought?
It was nice having everybody for dinner.
Oh, that's very kind.
I think her mic
Thank you
is
for dinner.
girlfriend on girlfriend mode
yeah,
again.
it's on
Am I in
girlfriend?
girlfriend mode?
No, you're good now.
Hello. There. Now I can hear myself.
Yeah, you're good.
It was nice having everyone for dinner.
Well, it was nice. Brian,
Yes, sir.
you got gigs coming up?
Next ones that are open to the public, October 26th, local number 90 from 5 to 8.
Ooh.
We might go to that.
Yeah, we could go to
Yeah,
that one.
Not far from you guys.
Where
at
is
all.
it? What date?
That's October 26th. It's a Friday.
Friday?
Week from
Yeah.
Friday. Yep.
We could
That's,
do that one.
5 to 8.
Come down there, have a couple brewskis. They serve pops there. Any of you guys listening at home?
5 to 8.
Yeah, I think the whole town's putting on like a thing. A bunch of music's going to be going on at all the different places in town.
Sweet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So not only can you'll play 5 to 8, and then you'll come with us to do the rest of the game.
If there's more, yeah. If
Yeah.
there's more going on later than that, then I'll go check that out for sure.
Sounds good.
Yep. Next night I'm at Finn McCool's in Oshawa.
Ooh, that
That's
was where we went.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
gonna
good
be a-
restaurant.
Really good venue.
Yeah, so that's gonna be I think a 7 to 11, and that's
I'm down for that.
Yeah?
and it's
Do Finn
it's a
McCool's?
good place.
I'll
yeah.
do 2 nights in a row. That's it.
Yep.
We'll keep you updated on where Brian's going to be. My final thought, appreciate all you guys. Thanks for coming out. Facebook, you need to make your live streams longer because people got things to say. People got things to talk about. People got to answer people questions. Thank you so much. Daiwa Tatula. I will fish. Watch the YouTube channel. I'll let you know how it is. I'll be honest, even though they're hooking me up, I'll tell you if it's no good. But I have a feeling I'm going to love it. Peace. Mark Hunter, stay out of trouble in Chicago.